Hey, folks, what's going on? Welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. And today, and most Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll find me here on LinkedIn Live, where I'm hanging out with old industry friends and new industry buddies. And today, my guest in the Nerdatorium is Eric Nagel, an old time buddy of mine. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, Eric.
Wow, thanks for having me.
You got it. Eric is the VP of IT over at IMWave. We'll be talking a little bit about what IMWave does as a company and what Eric's doing over there. If you have any questions about affiliate marketing or just want to haggle me and Eric for a little while, come on into the chat. The water is nice. Without further ado, Eric Nagel, who are you?
Wow, wasn't prepared for that one. Yeah, I guess you could say we go a ways back in the affiliate world. I'm trying to think when I built my first affiliate link. It was, you remember what was it, Be Free?
Oh, okay.
Back in the
No,
late
I don't.
90s. Oh, it was like the late 90s.
Uh,
So I
uh,
go I go way back.
I like how
Um,
you had to build it yourself back in that day.
oh
Like
yeah,
it's not just handed to you. You have to go out and build it.
you got to get your own. Yeah, and so I've been in the affiliate space for a while, doing my own thing and working for various companies. And like you said, now I'm VP of IT over at IMWave, where we do a heck of a lot with pay-per-click advertising.
Outstanding. But you have a pretty rich history in the as being technically savvy.
Yeah,
Not necessarily in the affiliate management realm, but you enable others, affiliate managers, and help other programs out. Tell us a little bit
yeah,
more about that background.
yeah. So I guess talking about my background is I went to school for programming, so I fit right in the nerdatorium here as a big time nerd. Um, being able to get my hands dirty with the ones and zeros, and so I worked on just you know my unique take in the affiliate world is from the technical end. I look at things, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, where it's like I don't like doing things manually, so I can dig into like the APIs and that kind of stuff and get nerdy. So yeah, I've helped various agencies automate reporting. I've worked with advertisers or merchants to get their program set up. That was a long time ago. I've worked with publishers or affiliates on the technical ends of things, and um, data feeds and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely nerdy.
Awesome. Also, you are a professor. I forgot to call you Professor Nagel. Excuse my
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
You're also
If you,
coaching or teaching young minds over in Buffalo, right?
I am, yeah, at Buffalo State University. We were Buffalo State College, but now we became a university.
Wow.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I teach two courses over there. It's been, I don't know, 4.5 years or so. And I teach programming for the Internet 1,
Uh-huh.
which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we do all that in one semester. And then
Sounds
I
aggressive.
honestly, yeah, there's a lot. And I honestly don't know what my other course is titled, but it's something like we use VB.net. I don't know what the full course title is,
Hmm.
which many students ask me, isn't that a dying language? And it's like, yeah, it is. But if you remember, like in early 2020, when pandemic times hit and everyone was filing for unemployment, all those systems were running on COBOL.
Hmm.
So even a dying language needs programmers. And I teach this more as a, not as a here's how to program in VB.net, but here's how to be a good programmer.
Hmm. Interesting. Is Latin still a thing? I know that died out, but there's still
Not
people
in my
that have
department.
to.
Not in
People
my
still have to
department.
know what Latin is, or
Yeah.
somebody has to translate it from old
Yep.
scripts. I don't know. That's what would remind me of. Awesome. So our guest Eric Nagel, there's a link to his profile in the chat if you want to get a hold of him and nerd out any further, or you want to get a hold of him with his company, I Am Wave. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. The link is in the profile chat to go grab it. And let's dive into what you do over at IMWave. First off, what's the company do, and who are you guys serving?
So we are a publisher or an affiliate. I don't know what you call them these days.
Sure.
But we primarily buy ads on Google and Bing, directing traffic to the advertiser site through affiliate networks.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's great about that is that our team is really good at PPC. And if we're working with a merchant who's, selling widgets, they're really good at making widgets. Their specialty is not PPC.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we can come in. So like I said, we're really good at PPC. And the great thing about that is, that you're going to be paying 10%. So you can build that directly into your margins. It's 10%. You don't know that this keyword's going to cost you $55 and this one's going to cost you 55 cents.
Mm-hmm.
That's not things you need to worry about. So it's kind of, that's one of our value propositions is that, let us handle the PPC for you.
Yeah. Awesome. And that's extremely powerful for companies that might be young or don't even know how to do the PPC game. They can get a lot of value out of you guys, and you guys are working off a commission basis. So you guys are just essentially trying to spend less money than you're earning in commissions, right?
Yeah. And, if you're working with a traditional agency, they might not really care about profitability for
Sure.
you. If especially if they're working on a percent of ad spend, whereas us, we don't have a budget. If we find something that's profitable, we're going to run it as fast as we can, as hard as we can. And if you're comfortable paying 10, 20%, we're a great partner in that way, in that we're just going to just give you not as much traffic, but as many sales as possible. Right. Mm-hmm. Because for us, I can buy, ridiculously broad keywords and send traffic your way, and it's not converting. That's going to cause me to lose money, which I don't want as your partner. Right. So
yeah,
we're finding the right keywords to drive conversions back to the merchant.
Great. And there's not a lot of companies out there doing this. I've used you guys previously with some of the brands that I've worked with over the years, and you guys have done great work, especially if we don't have that internal system to go and utilize our PPC campaigns. You guys are a great fit there, but always have great work. And tell me a little bit more about what you do over at IMWave. How do you help this team?
So we have a system that will pull in the revenue from the affiliate networks and all the costs from the ad networks, and does a lot of thinking, and then says, okay, this keyword we were bidding 30 cents on, but it's definitely more profitable, so let's bump this up to 42 cents. And this keyword over here, we've been bidding this and it's not working too well, let's shut this off and go find new keywords. It handles all that stuff. So I can tell you, that this particular sale came from, Philadelphia Wednesday afternoon. And then we can look and go, well, how's Philadelphia converting for this program? Mm-hmm. How's Wednesday afternoon converting for this program? And, so we're dealing with a lot of data. And again, if you're selling widgets, maybe you don't care so much about that data. We do.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. And Google seems to be making it more difficult in the PPC space. It seems like it's getting harder every single day. And how do you guys adjust to that? Like making the profitability and, keeping the tracking attribution where it is, that seems like the easy part, but the profitability seems to be getting harder and harder. And like the other day, I got an ad taken down because I had the word away in it. And it seems like words are it's becoming harder to make your ads, and I don't know why. What do you have to say about that?
Well, first, try targeting ads to Rifle, Colorado. Those are never going to get approved.
All right.
There's certain towns where it's like, oh, I didn't know that was a town, and they'll never approve it. So in terms of Google Ads, I'm going to relate this to affiliate marketing. And, I talk about affiliate marketing. I actually talk about it in one of the courses at Buffalo State. Is I tell people that today is going to be the easiest it's ever going to be for you to get into affiliate marketing.
Okay.
And it's also the hardest it's ever been.
Yeah.
Right? Tomorrow,
So
if you
true.
wait till tomorrow, it's going to be even harder. And yesterday was easier than today. So, you know, it's not for the faint of heart because it is definitely getting harder and harder. Luckily, I work with some really smart people. The stuff that Google throws at us, we come up with. I don't want to say workarounds, but we come up with ways to work with Google and I say Google, but I'm talking Google and Bing, right?
Okay.
Whatever Google does, Bing typically follows suit within a couple of months. So I'm fortunate to work with smart people. We figure out solutions to the problems, and we just got a new one thrown at us last week, and I'm not going to get into details about it because we're still working it out. But yeah, it's never going. It's as easy as it's ever going to be, and it's never been any harder.
Gotcha. And how do you keep up with that stuff in that field? What's your strategies here?
So there's a lot of talk. There's like PPC chat on Twitter. There's different blogs and everything, but I go to the source. So we get all of information from the Google Ads blog,
Okay.
or personally the Google Developer blog. I get my information from, because besides that, everyone's speculating.
Huh.
And if you act on speculation, you can just be spinning your wheels for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we go to the source and make our decisions based on that.
All right. So at least the source is verified, right? That's it's coming from the right people, but Google has traditionally held things close to the vest. Like they don't really tell people what the algorithm is in terms of
right.
like how to rank, right? But they will give you snippets of what you can do to improve, maybe.
Yeah, and that's that kind of description is more on the SEO side and not the PPC side. PPC, I mean, there are little things, right? Your ad quality and such, but at the root of it, PPC is who's going to pay more money, because that's what Google cares about. They talk about, we care about, the customer journey and all this stuff. No, they don't. They care about money. So PPC is a lot less mysterious than SEO is. But there's still a lot going on where Google has been taking information away from us.
Yeah.
Stuff that we used to know. I used to know that when someone clicked on this link, we were in the 4th spot, right? Which used to be 1, 2, 3 above the search results, and 4 was on the right-hand side. Now all that jumbled up and everything. So they took that away, and it's harder to understand exactly what keywords are converting. I mean, they're even moving away from keywords and going towards intention, where you're not so much bidding on a particular keyword, but you're bidding on what does the user want to do? What is their intention? So if they search for like, can I take my Google Pixel to AT&T? All right. That was a long tail. Sorry, I don't have this much screen space. That was a long tail keyword, right? Put your hand up, Dustin, so we can make a long tail. Other way. There
long. Oh my God! Look at that tail. That's crazy.
That was a long tail keyword, but the intention is the user wants to know if they can move their phone to AT&T, right? So we're heading that direction of what's the user's intention, not what did they type in, because users don't always type in the right thing.
Huh. The customers don't know what they want until you put it in front of their face, right?
So we're going to tell them what they want.
Yeah, awesome. So when you are working with merchants, I'm sure you guys have dozens, if not hundreds, of like programs that you're joined to and running campaigns on a regular basis. Like the profitability with these campaigns has to have a certain threshold for you guys to keep doing it, right? And like in this space, I would assume like SaaS products are a little easier these days to go after and partner up with. But do you lean more towards the e-com partners to work with, or is it in the SaaS? Like,
so we're all over the place.
Okay.
Thinking about our top merchants, they're all over the place. But I will say that if we're picking up a new program, we tend to lean towards those that are represented by an agency that we're already working with.
Ah,
So it's not that we're going into CJ and saying, okay, who just joined the network, or go to ShareASale and sort by who allows PPC, and then or filter by who allows PPC, and then sort by who just joined. We're working these relationships with different agencies.
okay, gotcha. So that's easy enough. Working with the agencies out there to see what new clients they have. They'll probably give you an update once or twice a month or something. That's great. And you're big into APIs and like setting up automation.
Yeah.
How are you guys utilizing that and that skill set for setting up these campaigns or working with clients?
So, I mean, this whole process used to be, like, from day one, was manual, right? You would say, I'm
Okay.
going to run a PPC campaign. I'm going to send it to this merchant. And then the next day you log into CJ or whoever, you say, I made this much money and I spent this much money. It was profitable. Great. And you left it at that. And the problem with that is you can have certain keywords that are not profitable, and your highly profitable keywords are masking the losers. So if you get down to the keyword level and you can somehow track that, then um, we know that this particular keyword is a loser or this one's a winner. And when you're talking about, you can fit, I don't know, we typically try to cap our, well, I don't want to get too geeky or spill too many trade secrets, but
Okay.
if you're dealing with 20,000 keywords, then doing that manually is not possible. So that's where APIs come in, and that's where someone like myself comes in, where you hire a programmer to say pull the data from the two different sources, and you have basically big data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you align everything, and now you can see what keywords are winners, which ones are losers, and then you can throw the losers out, pause them, and then give the winners a little bit more ad spend, and see if you can keep pushing them. So in terms of automation, I mean, there's a ton that we can get into with automation, but APIs are, I should probably know what they stand for, application programming interface or something like that. But
Sounds
it's a
good.
way, that a programmer like me can make I can get into ShareASale, or I can get into CJ, and I can pull that data out, put it in my own database, and then run calculations and such.
Okay, gotcha. And Zapier come into this at all? You guys like abusing it
Yes and
with
no.
his company? Okay.
Yes and no. So um, Zapier is a SaaS product
Mm-hmm.
where you don't have to be a programmer, and you can say, this is my input, this is what I want to do with the input, and this is the output. So the simplest example is I just set up a Zap yesterday, and a Zap is a flow in Zapier. So my input was an RSS feed. I took the impact status dashboard. They have an RSS feed. So I wanted to know every time Impact was having a tracking issue or reporting was delayed or something like that. So that was my input into Zapier. And then my output was every time there's a new entry in the RSS feed, I would have it be sent to our Slack channel. So I was then getting notifications that, hey, reporting is delayed or something like that. So Zapier is a great way to just get started with automation. I
Okay.
use it. I use it a ton just in my life,
Yeah.
because I've got a lot going on. So I try to automate everything that I can. If I do something and I do something very similar the next day, I say no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, instead of taking 30 seconds to do that thing, I'll spend a half hour so I never have to do that thing again.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I find myself doing that as an affiliate manager a lot. Like, hey, I'm doing this repetitive message and this outreach. What can I do to make this a faster process? And then I end up spending more time on that process and then
Yeah, but you make up that time. If you do the
yeah.
math,
Okay.
if you say, okay, this was taking me I know it's ridiculous that when you spend 30 seconds on something, are you going to invest a half hour in
Right.
it? But if you think about it, in 2 months, you've made up that time. So if you
Okay.
automated that 30-second thing today, by Labor Day, you've made up that time And now you have September, October, November, December that you're profitable in that time.
All
That's
right.
time that's, back in your life to do other things.
And what's the quick math that you utilize for an equation like this?
Well, so I just figured 30 seconds to 30 minutes is 10x.
Okay.
No, it'd be
That's
sorry,
20x.
20x.
Right.
So I guess my math is wrong, because then even if it was 20x, that's only 20 days away.
Okay.
Right? No, it'd be 60 days away, because it takes. Anyway, basic math that I can't do in my head right now.
All right.
And what I try to do is, you can look at these things and say, what's your biggest bang for the buck? If I automated this, I get my time back in 7 days, or this might take a little bit longer. It's going to take me 9 months to get my time back.
Mm-hmm.
That one you might want to think about a little bit more. Is that worth the time to automate? But you start knocking out those little things. And some of the things are so simple. So I use Trello for my to-do list, and whatever to-do list you're using, you can do this trick. And most of them have a service where you can email something into your to-do list, right? So I have Gmail filters set up, and I've got some that are ridiculously simple. Like when I request a book from the library and the library says your book is available, that email automatically forwards to my to-do list. Something that simple just keeps me on track. I know it has nothing to do with affiliate marketing, but just life in general, if you can keep on track and eliminate, I guess, decision making.
That would be helpful. I haven't utilized Zapier nearly enough. I've done it for some, funneling systems to like match up my my calendar, syncing it up with my funnel system, and it seems like funnel systems like Go High Level, which I use, are getting even better nowadays to make that life easier. And sometimes Zapier isn't even needed at this point, but it seems like there's always applications that are needing it. So those are some great use case examples. Thanks, Eric. Let's switch gears here and talk about our sponsor of the day. Oh, who should it be? What a surprise. It's my own course. Like when I started out as an affiliate manager, I was tossed in the deep end to either sink or swim. And everything I learned was through trial and error, or occasionally my company would send me to a conference to go learn. But even at a conference, I'm still trying to figure out which sessions to go to and the right people to connect with. And I just decided there's got to be a better way to learn this. And that's why I created Performance Marketing Manager as a course to help affiliates expedite their education in affiliate marketing as an affiliate manager. Come check it out, performancemarketingmanager.com, and come hang out with my community. Now, Eric, switching back into it all, let's talk about you and your feed on LinkedIn. I want you to defend your post here today. Your first business back in middle school was people were chewing gum in class, and then they stopped allowing it, or they started allowing it. How did this all work out? Okay.
Yeah. So you never could chew gum in school.
Okay.
And in middle school, they lifted that. 6th grade, they lifted that rule, and everyone could chew gum. So as you can see here, I went to the drugstore, and bought these 5 packs of Hubba Bubba bubble gum for 40 cents, and broke it open and sold every piece for $0.25.
Okay.
So it turned 40 cents into $1.25, which back in 6th grade, 1990, that's a lot of money for a 12-year-old. You can buy some baseball cards with that. So yeah, that was my first business. And I was just talking to someone yesterday who doesn't have the internet knowledge that we have. And he was asking me, I need a side hustle. And I thought about when there was a piece of my vacuum cleaner that broke. And so I go to eBay, because I don't like throwing stuff away that, most of the vacuum works except this one piece. Yeah. So I go to eBay to buy this piece, and this piece was $40. But a refurbished vacuum was $120. if I bought the refurbished vacuum, which I did, took the piece out and put it in my vacuum, now I have a vacuum that works, and then another vacuum is just missing one piece. If I broke that down, I could sell the other one for $140. So I could have gotten my part for free and made a couple bucks. And I told him this, I'm like, look, buy these refurbished vacuums, break it down and sell the parts, and you get like a 50% ROI on that. So same thing, you're buying the whole and selling the parts. I was buying the whole pack of gum and selling the parts.
And how have you used that same strategy today in the business that you've done? Is this a trait that you've kept on going throughout your time?
I mean, I'd say the hustle, but as I've gotten older, the hustle is kind of not quite diminished. I mean,
Okay.
I have multiple jobs, so I keep busy.
Sure.
I like working. I don't know. How does that relate to today? I guess I would just say that, yeah, I'm always looking for opportunities. Let's put it that way.
Fantastic. All right. Well, get back into the AI subject. AI is obviously taking over and is going to kill the affiliate industry. Everybody knows it, and everybody's talking about it, right? I'm out of a job next year. SEO is dead. How are you using AI right now? And are you using it for good? Are you using it for bad? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? That's a lot of questions. You could go.
It is. So as a programmer, I'm a very black and white person.
Okay.
So I have students that come to me and say, Professor Nagel, can you write me a letter of recommendation for this grad school? That's something that's hard for me to do.
Oh.
But I can ChatGPT and say, I need a letter of recommendation for this person. Give ChatGPT a couple of qualities of that person. Cool. And I've got these beautiful letters of recommendation. So I use it for situations like that. I run an event here outside of Buffalo, New York, and I use that for sponsor letters. We use it for some of the marketing. And probably the thing that might surprise people the most as a programmer is I have it built into my code editor. So as I'm coding, I can put a comment in and say, this function does this. I hit enter, and less than a second later, that function is written for me. So again, as a teacher, students are like, Professor Nagel, is ChatGPT going to take our jobs? It's like, well, if you're a crappy programmer or crappy coder, then yes, it's going to take your job, because that's what ChatGPT is. It's a crappy coder. But a programmer takes all the different parts and puts it together. A coder can just, write out those 12 lines of code that you just said, this is what it needs to do. But somebody still has to think about, how is all this going to flow together? So I have ChatGPT or a version of it, right, built into my code editor. And it is kind of funny that I was working with the Bing Ads API. I don't know what they call it, the Bing Ads API or Microsoft Advertising API. They flip the name back and forth. And I needed a report. So I'm describing the report I need in my code, and ChatGPT writes the code, and I look it over. I go, yeah, that looks right. And I go and run it, and there's an error. And I go, okay, let's go figure out what the error is, right? ChatGPT is not fixing this error for me. And ChatGPT knows about all the reports that's available from Bing. And the report that I wanted didn't exist, but it logically made sense that it would have been there. And it wasn't. So ChatGPT or CodeGPT or Code AI or whatever it's called was hallucinating. It thought, look, if all these things are here, this other one must be here. It only logically makes sense. So it's a good coder. It probably makes me 30% more efficient as coding, but it gets things wrong. There's times where it writes code and I'm like, well, that's not right. That's not what I want at all. And then it's also only as good as the question you ask it, right? Okay. There's times where I ask ChatGPT, I need some JavaScript that does this. And it writes it and I go, okay, hang on. I meant I need, either vanilla JavaScript or JavaScript using jQuery. And it writes it again. I go, okay, that's kind of what I want, but change it this way. So it's a lot of communication back and forth. I think of it like I have a coder sitting next to me and I'm doing the programming. I'm putting things together. I'm describing what needs to be done, and it's doing the busy work.
I see.
So
okay.
as a programmer, I love it. As a professor, I love it. I teach my students how to use it because it makes them, um, more efficient employees when they head out to the workforce.
Cool.
I don't think it's going to kill affiliate marketing. Something else is already going to kill affiliate marketing. It's not going to be ChatGPT. We're going to see a lot of crappy content out there for a while, until really Google and Bing know how to, slap that content and penalize it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, use it as an assistant.
Well, what do you know on them slapping content that is artificially made at this point?
I know that they said the content should be a human should create the content.
Okay.
That's as far as I know. So, but you could also, if you had a system that knows that this is AI generated content, you could say, rewrite this content until this system doesn't think it's AI generated anymore. And it would just go into a loop and keep rewriting it. And all of a sudden it goes, ding, okay, this is not AI generated. And then you plug that into your blog. This is nothing new. 15, I got to look at the year. Yeah, 15 years ago, we were spinning content.
Okay.
Where you would write an article and the third word, you would put in curly brackets, 3 different synonyms, and then your content would get spun again and again and again. So your one article turns into 400 unique pieces. Wow. And then you spam the internet with that. I mean, marketers ruin everything, Dustin. You know
that. Adam Reamer came on a couple of weeks ago, and he said something that shocked me. He said, write the content yourself and then put it in a ChatGPT to rewrite it. And you can use the rewrites for everything else. Like make your own blog post, and then your LinkedIn posts that's talking about your blog post, have it rewrite it so it's original content. And I thought that was a really smart concept. But also the other way around is the most popular version by far. And that loop you just talked about is a really interesting concept as well.
When it comes to SEO, I would listen to Adam Reamer over myself. He's an expert in that.
Smart. All right. And Google Bard, what do you think is coming down the pipeline? Is this going to kill affiliate marketing industry altogether? Like, it feels like they're trying to absorb the real estate on Google that is talking about giving suggestions to people to make purchases. And are they going to just absorb all of the SERPs in the future?
So as I understand it, and I haven't touched Bard in a while, but Bard was, when ChatGPT came out in November, December last year, and everyone was talking about it, Google rushed Bard out the door, and it wasn't as polished. And I played with it back, earlier this year, and it was kind of garbage. So I stuck with ChatGPT. I'm a ChatGPT fanboy.
Right.
But obviously Google has a lot of resources and they have a lot of data. So is it going to push out, the real estate that affiliates are taking right now? I do believe that you'll start seeing that. We're already seeing it with structured snippets, right? Where if you type in a question, Google directly answers you by scraping content off another website. And then the user doesn't have to go anywhere, right? They don't have to go to the affiliate site and even see ads or anything, right? They're just getting the answer from Google and leaving. So Google's always a threat. But at the same time, affiliates, Google is so powerful that you have to play by Google's rules because that's where you're getting your traffic from. So again, I'll just go back to it's never been, or it's not going to be any easier to get into affiliate marketing than it is today.
That is funny. That's a good tie-in. What do you think that like Bing might eventually have an advantage? Do you think people are going to get tired of Google absorbing all of the real estate on those SERPs with their own content? That there's going to be a need for like that firsthand experience, like DustinHouse.com writes reviews about that I believe in, like having that human experience. I think is always going to be a necessity, and other platforms like Bing search engines having real results, they might become popularized again, and Google might start falling off the table. Like, is that a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility. Like if you think about the internet back in the late 90s, the AOL and the internet were synonymous with each other, right? And it was like, how is AOL ever going to be dethroned as the king of the internet? And they were. Google is a verb. It's going to be really hard to dethrone Google, right? And Bing has ChatGPT built into it, into the search results, or maybe a version of it or whatnot. But it's going to be really hard to dethrone Google. I think it's going to take a lot more than users saying, I want search results. I think we're seeing it in the EU a little bit, that they're realizing Google's too powerful. So I think that's what it's really going to take, is that a bigger entity gets ticked off enough. And I'm not going to get into political discussion, but it's going to take a lot to dethrone Google.
All right, that's fair. Looks like we got a chat in here. Since Trisha Maya wants to come in and chime in, I'm going to put a little slide on the pma.org. Go check them out and become part of our community. She wishes she had something to contribute, but she's not going to bug Eric with tech questions today. I think that's her job on the regular. But
she hasn't asked me any tech questions today.
No, nothing.
Not yet.
That's unfortunate. Trisha, get on your game. Thanks for joining us, Trish. So if you would like, Eric, thank you for joining me here today. Let's wrap this thing up here. If you would like to be in Eric's seat in the Nerdatorium, please go to dustinhouse.com/nerd and throw out a proposition of what you'd like to nerd out with and about. And my guest next week on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, Wade Tonkin and Mandy Pinner are going to join me. And for those of you that are interested in getting a free 15-minute call with me to talk about affiliate marketing or how I can help you, I'm going to help point you in the right direction. Go to dustinhouse.com/explore, grab 15 minutes with me, and I'll be happy to help. Eric, appreciate your time, buddy. Thanks for coming in and nerding out with me.
Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
For those affiliate managers out there, keep on recruiting, and we'll see you out there. Take care, folks.